Right then guys, how's it going? And welcome back to your football predictions, the series where we try and predict all of the upcoming weekend's Premier League games. Those were my predictions from the weekend gone. I did okay. I got one correct score and I got 6 correct outcomes. So one correct score isn't great, but I was kind of in the right area for a few of them, which was okay. As always, you guys did better than me. I think we might have actually got the most correct predictions in a long time from you guys. Loads of people got 2 correct scores. And then we had the winners, who were 4 people who got 3 correct scores. And they are FIFA Mains, Leo Rebel, Kenny and Liam. So well done to you 4. As I say, there was loads of comments last week, loads of likes on the video, so thank you to everyone who watched, liked and got involved with your predictions. And be sure to get involved again if you'd like to be shouted out in my next predictions video, which will be next week. I don't know what day it's going to be because we've got games this weekend, but we also have Premier League games midweek, and then we've got them again at the weekend. So I'll try and fit the midweek games in as well. If not, we might have to just go straight into next weekend. But we'll see how it goes. As always, predictions in down below for this weekend's games. And as always, we will go through them now. So we are back on the Wednesday again, trying to be a little bit prepared because we have a Friday night game this week, which is at 8 o'clock on Sky, and it's Leeds versus West Ham. Leeds are currently sitting in 14th place. Promoted side, I've said it once, I'll say it again, they are doing very decent this season so far. They did lose against Chelsea at the weekend, which was always going to be a tough game, but they did get on the score sheet. Bamford did get a goal. I think when they've got a player who can score goals, it does just make that big difference, and they do have that. So regardless of the game you're in, they've always got a bit of a chance. Last 5 games, they lost one, drew one, won one, lost one. So I mean, form wise, it's a bit middle of the road. It's probably what you'd expect for being in 14th place. Taking on West Ham, who are currently sitting in 8th place, who also lost at the weekend against Manchester United. So I think both teams here had pretty tough fixtures at the weekend. And again, West Ham lost 3-1. They did manage to get a goal, but again, like Leeds, lost the game. West Ham's last 5 games form does look a lot nicer. They lost 1, then won 3 in a row, and then lost against Man U at the weekend. So I think it could well be a close game. As I say, West Ham had gone on a great period of winning games in a row. Obviously fell against Man U, but they are a very good side. I've backed West Ham to win it 2-1. But again, like most games in this league, it could go either way. But I think West Ham is the one for me. Moving on to the Saturday now at 12:30 on BT Sport. Now I should say, if you are watching this video on Friday night or Saturday morning, you've already missed the predictions for the Leeds versus West Ham game. Don't worry, get them in anyway for the Saturday. Sunday, I do come back to the video on the Saturday morning and pick up all of the late prediction comments. So be sure to get them down below anyway. And it is Wolves taking on Aston Villa. So Wolves lost against Liverpool 4-0 at the weekend. I didn't watch the game, but presumably it didn't go too well for Wolves, unfortunately. They are sitting in 10th place, so bang in the middle of the league. Form-wise, it's almost a perfect sequence. The last 6 games, they drew, they won, they lost. They drew, they won, they lost against Liverpool. So they're going to draw this game, possibly. That's what it's trying to say there. Wolves have had to mix things around a little bit. There was the injury to Jimenez, the move from the 5 at the back to a 4 at the back. They've been trying to change the way they're attacking slightly, rather than just lumping it up to Jimenez, trying to bring a few other guys into play. So, it is a bit of a work in progress there. For me, I quite liked the way Wolves played with the five at the back. I don't think that that's gone forever, but I just think because of the injuries, they're having a kind of a bit of a makeshift. Taking on Aston Villa, who was sitting in 12th place. They had no game at the weekend because they were meant to play Newcastle, which got postponed. In their last 6 games before the game that they missed, they won one, lost one, lost one. They won one, then lost one, lost one. So that sequence is saying that Aston Villa should win this game. For me, I have backed Wolves to win it 1-0. A narrow margin. To be honest, I'd rather Aston Villa won because I've got 3 Aston Villa players in my fantasy league team. I've got Grealish, I've got Watkins, and I've got Target. So a nice Grealish hat-trick and a clean sheet would be better. But I don't know. Will Aston Villa benefit from the week out, the extra game rest? Will they come in and do something? Or will Wolves be looking to fix the wrong that they had when they lost 4-0 against Liverpool? You know, it could really be either. And I've gone for the Wolves side. But obviously let me know what you think down below. Next up again on the Saturday at 3 o'clock on Sky, we have got Newcastle taking on West Brom. So Newcastle, another team who didn't play at the weekend. It was because of Newcastle, because of the outbreak amongst the squad. It's being said that potentially this game may get postponed as well. So we'll have to look out for that one. Hopefully not. Hopefully the players are feeling better. They've only just been allowed back to the training ground yesterday, I think, after, you know, over a week and a half away. So again, what is the Newcastle squad like? Who's available? Are the players who are out well enough to play? Are they going to be feeling fresh from a week and a half at home, or did they have a quite serious symptoms so they aren't feeling great? You know, it's complete unknown. Because I'm the eternal optimist and a Newcastle fan, I'm hopeful they're all going to come back and be fresh as daisies and play fantastically well. Will that happen? Possibly not, and probably not, to be honest. West Brom currently sitting in 19th place. They are in the relegation zone, but they did get their first win of the season against Sheffield United a couple of weeks ago, which I thought might have put a bit of energy into the players, but it wasn't to be because they lost 5-1 against Crystal Palace at the weekend. So we've got a team who we don't even know what players are going to be fit against a team who just got hammered 5-1. Again, because I'm the Newcastle fan and the eternal optimist, I have gone Newcastle 1-0. If the game even goes ahead. So, again, let me know what you think down below. Next up again on the Saturday at 5:30 on Sky, we have got the Manchester derby, Man U taking on Man City. So, Man U currently sitting in 6th place, have won their last 4 Premier League games in a row. Man City sitting in 7th place, have won their last 2 Premier League games in a row. Before that, both teams have been pretty inconsistent this season. You know, I know Man U are in a bit of a change at the minute with, Solskjaer's been there for a while now. You know, it doesn't feel like 2 seconds ago since he started. But, you know, there's some young players in there that they're trying to bring Greenwood in. You know, there's a few. Well, it's just an ever-changing side, I think is what I'm saying. You know, it's hard to pin on who's actually going to play, except Bruno Fernandes. You know, he's the talisman. He's the man who gets the job done. And at the weekend, when I think they were losing against West Ham at half-time, and then they brought on Fernandes and 2 other people, and then Fernandes goes and gets an assist and they win the game 3-1. You know, and for Man City, you know, De Bruyne, Sterling hasn't been that great. You know, again, it just wasn't knitting together. They had the issue of the striker role because Aguero and Jesus were both injured, trying to possibly play Sterling up there, trying to play Mahrez up there. And, you know, for whatever reason, for both teams in the Premier League anyway, in the last few games, it seems to have just switched on and started working. As I say, Man U won the last 4 Premier League games. Man City just suddenly came out and beat Burnley 5-0. You know, and then came out and beat Fulham 2-0. You could say, you know, Man City have just beaten 2 teams who are pretty much struggling to not get relegated this season. What's it going to be like taking on Man U? And then for Man U, what team is going to turn up? Because they lost last night against Leipzig in the Champions League. With 3-0 down, got it back to 3-2. You know, it's the same with the West Ham game. They were 1-0 down, then won 3-2. And I heard something about how Man U, that was the against West Ham was the whatever time where they've gone down first, but then come back and won. So what I'm trying to say is, not only is it tough to predict a Manchester derby, but it's even tougher when you've got two teams who haven't been at their best, have been a little bit inconsistent, both teams have shown some good recent form, but what will unfold when they get out on that pitch? I don't know. I've already wrote my prediction down. I have gone 2-1 to Man City. I really like Bruno Fernandes. You know, he's a player that I like to watch. And he's in my fantasy team, so hopefully he scores. And again, I spoke about the Man U versus Southampton game a few weeks ago, where I basically bigged Southampton up loads, and then just said, well, I think Man U were going to win. And then they did. And it could be the same here. I would not rule Man U out at all, but I think I'm going to edge it to Man City. Moving on to the final game on Saturday at 8 o'clock on BT Sport, we have got Everton taking on Chelsea. So Everton currently sitting in 9th place. Calvert-Lewin did get himself a goal at the weekend, but it wasn't enough as they drew 1-1 with Burnley. If you think to the start of the season that Everton had, you know, where's it all gone? You know, 9th place now, can't beat Burnley, who are a struggling side down in the relegation zones. You know, it just seems to have all come to a halt. The last 5 games, they lost 3, won 1 and drawn 1. The draw was at the weekend against Burnley. So, can they go back to the way they were playing at the start of the season and pull something off against Chelsea, or will Chelsea continue what has been a fantastic string of results? They are currently sitting in 3rd place. They beat Leeds at the weekend, as I've already mentioned. Still just the 1 loss in the Premier League this season, and they drew last night in the Champions League. And as I said last week, I'm sure they've not lost in 5 or 6 Champions League games as well. So they're on some sort of crazy unbeaten streak. And with the form Everton are on, I've got to back Chelsea. So I've backed them 2-0 to win this one. Again, I'd rather it's not, because I don't have any Chelsea players in my fantasy league team. And I've got Calvert-Lewin. But yeah, I don't think I can not back Chelsea. I think Everton need to start clicking again if they want to have the end of the season that they want. You know, they brought Ancelotti in. They've spent the money. They want top 6, I think, minimum. But the way it's going, it's not going to end that way. So, I mean, it would be a big statement if they could do something here. But as I say, Chelsea's form has been too good to ignore. So, 2-0 from me. Moving on to Sunday now at 12 o'clock on Sky, we have got Southampton taking on Sheffield United. Southampton sitting in 5th place, rocking it in 5th place, I should say. Beat Brighton 2-1 at the weekend. Danny Ings is back. He scored himself a goal. It was a penalty, but it's still him on the score sheet. And having a really good season. I'm sure they'd won so many games in a row. And then when Danny Ings was injured, they drew 1, they lost 1. The moment Ings is back, he scores a pen and they win the game. So, taking on Sheffield United, who are sitting in 20th place and just 1 point from 11 games. I mean, I asked last week if any Sheffield United fans wanted to let me know what the hell is going on. I don't think anyone commented to let me know. I don't think anyone knows. It's an impossible thing to answer. Other than the fact that it isn't working. You know, I've not even wrote too much down for Sheffield United, because as I say, they've lost that many games in a row now. 1 draw from 11 games. 6 points off getting out of the relegation zone. So you know that if they can win this game, they can win another game, they're out of the relegation zone. So as bad as it's been, it might not be that much to turn it around if they can. The thing is, at the moment, Sheffield United down at the bottom on 1 point. West Brom Burnley on 6 points. Fulham just out of the relegation on 7. Then it's Brighton 10, Arsenal 13. So straight away you've got those 4 teams down there who are kind of occupying that relegation battle. And I'll get onto it, but teams like Brighton and Arsenal are pulling away a little bit, or trying to anyway. Sheffield United are right at the bottom of it. They need to do something. A win against Southampton would be a huge step. But I'm going to back Southampton to win 2-0. Danny Ings is back. Sheffield United aren't working. It's gotta be done. Next up on the Sunday at 2:15 on Sky, we have got Crystal Palace taking on Spurs. So Crystal Palace currently sitting in 11th place. Well, pretty much slap bang in the middle of the league. Last 5 of lost 3, won 2. And obviously had a huge win at the weekend when they beat West Brom 5-1. Benteke was even scoring goals. I mean, what's going on? Zaha got himself a few as well. So no doubt they're going to be flying on confidence after that game. It won't be easy taking on Spurs, who are currently sitting in 1st place. Just 1 loss in the Premier League so far, which was their first game of the season, so now 10 games unbeaten in a row. What can I say? Spurs are doing great. Kane and Son are still working. They went into a tougher period of games when they played Man City and won, drew against Chelsea, beat Arsenal at the weekend. Now it's Crystal Palace and I think it's Liverpool. So, as I keep saying, they did have what I'd say was a relatively easy-ish fixture start to the season, have pretty much shown everyone what they can do in the last 3 games. Now taking on a Crystal Palace side who will be in high confidence from their game, but it's Mourinho. Even if it's not a big win, I think it'll be a solid one. So I've gone 3-0 Spurs. Maybe Crystal Palace can prove me wrong. Zaha, Benteke, lighten it up now. Let's see what happens. Moving on again on the Sunday at 4:30 on Sky, we have got Fulham taking on Liverpool. Fulham currently sitting in 17th place, as I mentioned earlier, so just out of that relegation zone by 1 point. They are going to want to be trying to catch Brighton and Arsenal to really try and leave those 3 where they are and run away. They have had a couple of tough fixtures. I mean, they played Man City at the weekend. Now taking on Liverpool. It isn't going to be easy. But I would say that I think Fulham have looked a bit better in recent games. I mean, the last 5, won 2, lost 3. It's not great, but one of those games was against Man City. And I mean, 2 wins when they've got 7 points. So it shows that they're certainly doing better in the second half of the 10 games than the first half of the 10 games that they've had. Taking on Liverpool, who are in 2nd place, who are on joint points with Spurs. So it's just a goal difference that's keeping them behind. And considering half of the defence has been injured, Salah was out. Well, he's only out for 1 game, but still, Jota's come in and looked brilliant. It's defensively, really. And in fairness, Matip, the youngsters, Fabinho, Milner right back, it's not what you'd call standard options. They're alternative options, not the greatest options, but they've been kind of getting the job done. I think Alexander-Arnold is back now, which will be a huge plus to Liverpool. They do play in the Champions League tonight as well, so look out for that. And I've backed them at win 2-1. I've put the goal in there for Fulham because, as I say, they have looked better, and Liverpool's defence is a little bit not quite 100%. But with Mane, Salah, Jota, they're always going to score. So yeah, I've backed Liverpool to win at 2-1. Next up at 7:15 on Sky, we have got Arsenal taking on Burnley. So Arsenal sitting in 15th place, lost against Spurs at the weekend, and I've mentioned them a few times already because of the fact, as I say, they are down not too far above the relegation drop. I've just kind of spoken about how the bottom 3 is Burnley, West Brom, Sheffield United, then Fulham, and then the next group is like Brighton, Arsenal. I mean, saying that, Arsenal are still just 4 points off 8th, 5, 6 points off 6th. So, the league is still very tight, but that is not where they want to be sat. Arteta, I actually said that I was kind of enjoying what Arteta was doing at Arsenal, especially at the very start of the season, where they had a lot more possession, were trying to create something a little bit different. And I'll be honest, I've not watched them in the last few games, so you'll have to let me know if I'm wrong here. But from what I'd seen, the number of chances being created just wasn't enough. And Arteta's got to be worrying for his job, as much as potentially the football might be trying to progress if the results aren't there. Playing against Burnley, who is a team who, isn't going to try and play tiki-taka. They're going to just try and get the ball forward and try and score. And, sometimes that can be the way to do it. Burnley are sitting in 18th. They are down the relegation zone. They are just 1 point off 17th. But they did get a good draw against Everton at the weekend. So, at the start of the season, before anything happened and you had to just predict it, you would have probably bet your money on Arsenal without even thinking twice. I tried to back Arsenal up in the Arsenal Spurs game. It went 1-1. I thought maybe they might be able to pull something out of the bag, but lost 2-0. Now I'm looking at it thinking 1-1. They need more from those players like Aubameyang. He needs to be scoring. Is it because of the way they're playing that it's not working for him? I don't know. I've not seen enough of them. But 1-1. Let me know what you think down below. Next up again on the Sunday in the final game of the weekend. Again, it's 7:15, but this one's on Amazon. So you've got two options at 7:15 on Sunday. It is Leicester taking on Brighton. So Leicester sitting in 4th place. Or just 3 points off the top spot. So, Leicester are having a very decent season. I was looking at their form. They've been on such a fantastic run and then lost 2 games in a row. I think that was when I put Vardy in my fantasy team. That was when they started losing. They just managed to get a win at the weekend against Sheffield United with a last-minute Vardy goal. And they also play in the Europa League tomorrow night, so look out for that. Taking on Brighton, who, as I say, 16th place, are one of the teams just trying to creep away from the relegation zone. They lost against Southampton at the weekend, thanks to that Danny Ings pen. Still 4 points above the drop zone, so, they want to try and widen that gap if they can. I'll be honest, I can't see too much excitement from this game. Hopefully I'm wrong if I end up watching it, but I've gone for a 1-0 Leicester win. As I say, they haven't looked quite as good recently, kind of just scraping through the games like they did at the weekend, and it could well be the same in this one. And that is it, guys. So those are my predictions up there for the Premier League games this weekend. Be sure to get your predictions down in the comments below for all the games this weekend, including the game this Friday night. So you haven't got long to get your predictions in. I will go through all of your predictions before the game on Friday kicks off. So at 7:55 on Friday, I will make a note of all of your predictions and I will shout out the winner in my next predictions video next week. If you are watching this on the Friday night, Saturday morning, don't worry, get your predictions in for the Saturday and Sunday games. I will come back before the Saturday games start and pick up any of the late predictions as well. But as always, guys, I hope you have enjoyed the video. The support on these videos has been phenomenal. So many predictions last week, and we got over 100 likes on the last video as well, which was just insane. So yeah, thank you all very much indeed. Have a great weekend. I hope your team wins. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you later.